don't have like an intro, so at some point, like, I'll turn it to you to like introduce yourself.
Okay.
All right. So it's usually just like a cold. Did you see any of the episodes before?
I did a few,
Okay.
yeah.
And I looked at your Instagram. Your
Thank
Instagram
you.
was fun.
Thank you. I'm glad
Yeah.
you did.
Why did you make shoes though? Like, how did you get into shoes? Like, you have nice shoes, but
Yeah, why I got into the shoe stuffers and shoe care. Really because I'm a shoe addict. It's that simple. And it really was a personal frustration with the shoe papers, the tissue paper stuffers that come with all of your shoe purchases. And I just had this aha moment. I just spent couple of $100s on a brand new pair of shoes, and I thought the packaging was really lacking. Plus all that paper, it's a sustainability component to it. So I just decided that I was going to find a better long-term alternative.
why not earrings? Like, you have good taste in earrings.
I have
turn it a little bit.
I
so
have
can
said,
yeah, see, like,
yeah,
you just
the
gotta
bigger
show
the
'em.
better.
Is that it? Like, doesn't it weigh a lot?
No.
That was my initial thought.
I have said that if I didn't do what I was doing, I probably would have launched a statement earring brand because I love my earrings.
Why do you like statements though?
You know what? I think life is short, and so you may as well, really go all out. Why be reserved and quiet when you can really make a mark? I really think, always make a mark and make a difference. And, you can do that with fashion as well.
Well, you can do anything with fashion.
You can do anything. Yes, there's no wrong.
So thank you for coming in and talking to us, Olivia.
Thank you, David. Thanks
So
for having me.
Maybe you could introduce yourself to all 37 people that watch me and the hundreds, if not thousands, of people that tune in to watch you.
Oh, no, you're sweet. Well, I'm Olivia Hollaus, and I am the founder and creative director of Protect My Shoes, which is a brand of stylish shoe care essentials. I invented the patented shoe stuffer to replace the tissue paper stuffing that we've all come accustomed to get when we buy shoes. And on top of that, I am also the style contributor for local lifestyle magazine, Boca Magazine. And I'm a proud mom to 2 boys, hockey mom, and very involved in the community. So, yeah, I wear many different hats like everybody else out there.
So, like, yeah, so you're busy.
That's as busy as an understatement.
So when I think of shoes, I don't normally think of the filler, right?
Yeah.
Like, you think, like, I like shoes. I like very nice shoes. So I think like less is more if they're higher quality. But I use like the cedar wood in my, like, the little thingy. It does the thingy. So why did you protect your shoes? Like,
well, men have those beautiful cedar shoe trees, but women, we don't have that. So again, we typically have the tissue paper, and shoes, do get creased, as you wear them, they do lose their form. So it is important to maintain the shape of your shoe. So because we don't have the fancy cedar shoe trees, I came up with that beautiful alternative. And I think that everyday items can also be pretty, especially everyday items, you're using them all the time. So, my product is always very pretty, feminine, with bows and different prints. And it's like shoe candy. I will say, though, for men,
shoe candy.
It's like shoe candy. Yeah, that's a good one, right?
Yeah, that should be like the TV
tagline.
commercial. Like, maybe the editor will pull that, like,
maybe.
shoe candy.
But I will say we are working on a men's line because the men have been telling me, hey, what about us? We do spend a lot of money on shoes. The shoe trees, their problem is that they're very heavy. So when you travel, which you travel a lot, it's hard to travel with the shoe trees protecting your shoes. I mean, it's going to weigh down your suitcase. So we are working on an alternative for men as well.
Really? So the thing about shoes is how they look, right? Not how they feel. Do you destroy your own feet?
I have to say, yes,
as a shoe addict,
absolutely,
and a tall woman.
Yeah,
you're very tall. Although my torso is exceptionally tall.
Yeah, right.
I'm not tall, but my torso is,
and I'm the opposite.
Yeah. So, like, do you wear heels?
I do.
So what are you, like 6'4" in heels?
When I wear heels, I'm 5'11", no heels. I do wear heels. Again, I really believe that, fashion can be transformative, and shoes are like that. When I'm wearing a pair of flats as opposed to a pair of high heels, I do walk differently. My confidence is different, so I really think that it's very transformative in that regard. So yes, I will suffer in order to feel that confidence.
But are you the girl that's like, oh no, these are comfortable?
No, I'll say they're not comfortable. No.
Do you walk around barefoot afterward?
At home, oh my God, of course.
But
yes.
no, like when you're leaving the bar as a younger.
No, you'll never catch me doing that.
Never.
Mm-mm.
So I had a student one time that had an idea for a dispensable foot product for when you're leaving.
Okay.
Like you pay $2 and you get like what they give you at the pedicure place.
Yeah. So you can take them
off and walk to your car, walk to your Uber, walk to your whatever. I thought that was kind of genius based on the number of girls I see barefoot.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like, just don't wear those shoes.
Yeah. You're more about comfort.
Well, no, I mean, if you can't make it the whole night.
Well,
if you're walking down the street barefoot, then you failed on your shoe
But you
selection.
also have to think, like, I take this into consideration as well. Like, am I going to a dinner where I'm going to sit 90% of the time? Then that's fine. I can wear those beautiful, uncomfortable shoes. Am I going to be on my, as opposed to if I'm going to be on my feet?
A cocktail party?
Yeah, then I will wear more comfortable shoes.
A lower heel.
Yeah.
When do you wear a flat?
During the day, I do.
Only during the day? Do you wear them at night?
Depends. Could be. Depends again.
What's your favorite pair of shoes?
Oh my gosh, I have too many.
You can't. There can only be one favorite.
Right now, I'm really loving the Mary Jane style.
Okay.
I really
very
do.
popular.
Very popular. I love the block heel. That's very
classic.
comfortable and classic and very like Parisian.
I know more about women's shoes than I probably should.
I know, actually.
Don't worry. There's a reason.
I'm very impressed, actually,
There's a
David.
reason.
No, so I'm really into that look right now.
Right now.
Mm-hmm.
I wear Gucci loafers.
Yeah.
That's what I wear.
Love it. Classic.
That's it. So black.
Mm-hmm.
In brown, I go with like the Bruno Magli, like lace ups.
See, you really know your shoes.
I do. There's a whole bunch of reasons why.
Okay, well, you'll have to tell me.
Yes. It's not a weird foot fetish. So, all right, we're back left. So it's not a weird foot fetish. It's like actually just, and then the other piece is like fashion. I've always been interested in fashion as a dynamic industry.
Mm-hmm.
Not so much in like, what is the fashion or what's cool, but how do you make something cool, sell it, move on to the next thing?
Yeah.
How do you work around that? How do you create brand value above and beyond, right? Like, so now Gucci loafers do not have $600 worth of leather in them anymore, like in craftsmanship. Like the craftsmanship, like I probably will never buy a new pair again. I just keep fixing the old ones up because those were lifetime shoes. And the new stuff that Gucci's producing is kind of rubbish compared to what they used to. And that's true, not just of Gucci, but I think across the board in men's shoes. Mm-hmm. You have to probably go to a British shoe manufacturer to find the best leather. The Italians have all sort of been chopping at that to increase margin.
Yeah.
So what is it that you see in a shoe and go, oh my God, I have to have that shoe?
I mean, I think for me, it's like, in French, le coup de foudre, it's like love at first sight, sometimes you can't even explain what it is, but that shoe like actually speaks to you, and that happened to me recently where I saw a pair of shoes and I was like, I have to have them. They were
Where were you?
In Paris, actually.
Oh. Not bad.
Yeah, that actually also helps,
bad.
But they're Miu Mius and with Mary Janes, but with like a pearl on the side, really cute. I don't know. It's like they speak to you. It's love at first sight. Sometimes you can't really pinpoint why you love it, but it's a feeling.
You're not the only person with this love affair of shoes.
No,
I mean, it's a big thing.
It is. And like even for my brand, I always say, my market is a niche market, but oh my gosh, there's so many shoe lovers out there.
Yeah. You have watches, shoes, handbags. Those are sort of the three areas that I think like you could really get collecting.
Yeah, you can. Totally.
And do you have like shoes that You're like, I'm not wearing those. Those are mine. I look at them. I love
Yeah,
them.
I do.
Yeah.
I have a pair of Dior's. They only made very few, and they were only available at the Avenue Montaigne store, their flagship in Paris. And it took me a good 6 months to actually wear them out one time, and then it's very rare. Like if it's raining outside, I'm not wearing them.
So I have these blue suede shoes on right now. They're sneakers, and yeah, you can't wear it in the rain.
No, you got to be mindful of all this stuff. Yeah.
No. So when you built this company, first off, where are you at in the journey of building the company? Is it a full-time aspiration, or is it, as the kids say, a side hustle?
No, it's a full-time hustle.
Yeah.
I really consider us as an emerging brand. We've been on the market for a few years now, and just growing year on year. So, out in the market, we've done a lot of collaborations with other female creatives and artists where they've lent their talents to us and they've created their own prints with us, or we've worked with influencers and they've created a capsule collection. So we've really been able to get super creative. So, we have distribution. So we're definitely up and running.
How do you think about what's the perfect partner for you? Like, what do you look at? Because it can't be just follower numbers, right? Like people forget that conversion matters on the business side.
Completely. And I've had that lesson where, I did do a collaboration with an influencer that had 4 million followers, and it was my worst performing collaboration. So to be honest with you, I really use more of my instincts now, where it's like if I have I'm all about energy. And if I like your energy, I will want to work with you. I think that you may as well work with people that you vibe with. And then when that happens, then you can create something that's really special. So I think I'm more feeling than strategic sometimes.
Do you, Jeremy, do you have the ability to put the web up on there? Up on here? Yeah. Can you go to One with Swim? So I have I put it on here or here? Here. Yeah. So so One with Swim, interesting brand. We have a brand lab that started from, first we have a women's female entrepreneurship program at UConn.
That's so cool.
Top in the world. I'm beating Kendra Scott. She doesn't even know it, but I'm beating her. She's at University of Texas with the Kendra Scott.
That's awesome.
She should have invested in my program. She'd be the best in the world. But statement jewelry, right?
I love it.
There's a couple of things that have led us to this. And this young woman, she hates to be called a influencer. And she kind of just had that moment where she was like, you know what? Bathing suits suck. Mm-hmm. Women's bathing suits suck. They never fit right.
It's the worst thing to shop too. You go home depressed.
And so she came up with this concept where she said, I want my bathing suit to be one with me.
Love it.
And then she ended up creating some IP around how to make a woman's bathing suit fit like seamless underwear, because seamless bathing suits still had a seam. And so I think of the types of, and so this is, they were just on Shark Tank, right?
That's awesome.
And they launched out with this. It's an amazing market to sell direct online to women, but you have to speak to them much differently than men, right? And so these bathing suits, it's the way the seam comes together. It's bonded, and it's a real legitimate technology. And what she did, and what she did is she took, it's probably her best performing ad is her talking on our podcast. One of her better performing ads is her talking on our podcast. And I said to her, this is the first time we've been working on this company. I've been helping you, talking to you about your company for 5 years. It's the first time I've heard you explain why it works properly. And so, people think you have to invent something so crazy new.
No, no, you just can, make it better, improve, and
And
it's a feeling as well, like you said,
yeah.
yeah, you do have to speak to your customer. I think you have to be personable, you have to be authentic and, be real.
So what is that brand story for you? Like, what is that? How do you say it in 30 seconds to someone where you just say, this is what?
Oh, this is a good one. For me, it's like, I was saying shoes are an exclamation point to your outfit. And so we are here to, empower you. And I always say you start your day in your closet and you end it in your closet. So to go in and grab your pair of shoes and you have these beautiful handmade shoe cushions, handmade with love, it's such a great way to start the day. And, again, where it's a simple solution, but it's stylish and it's sustainable at the same time. And, it's a way of living, I think, We're elevating your shoe care regimen. That's really what we're doing.
Is it only for those people that really love shoes? How do you move someone that is just like, hey, give me some sneakers or give me some flats, or
Yeah, no,
like,
well,
how do you move them into that
well,
process?
we did launch a longer version of it, so it's great for the sneakers. There's a lot of sneaker heads out
Yeah.
there. That's a huge thing. So we do have a longer version, which is great for loafers,
Mhm.
the Gucci loafers, the sneakers, the styles that are longer. But it's also a great travel accessory. So when you travel, your shoes get squashed in
Yeah.
the suitcase. And usually you don't even know what to stuff them with. Socks, underwear,
Anything you got.
whatever,
Yeah.
anything. So, we have.
Sometimes I put like my toothpaste things in there.
Yeah, it's like doesn't work really,
No, never.
So in desperation, you just figure it out. But what we have is we have our shoe stuffers, but we also have the matching shoe bag. So now you've got this wonderful travel accessory, great for your on-the-go commute. When you want to change from your flats to your heels at the office. So we do have that. So I think it's also a great travel accessory.
So I've never bought on your website, but when I go to buy something on your website, what are you offering to me as well to sell? I know you like this. So do you have socks? Have you started to think about broadening that SKU space?
So we also have boot shapers. We have gift sets where you have the shoe bag, the shoe cushions, and the mist. So Spritz Stuff Store, and the mist is like a
Spritz Stuff Store.
Yeah,
that's
Spritz
it.
Stuff Store. There you go.
And I like the way you do it.
Yeah,
like, it's better than me. Yeah, it's much better.
I look more like a DJ right now,
Right,
spinning.
yeah.
But because we've had people say, well, are they scented? And scent is such a personal choice. So we have the mist, eucalyptus, lavender, rose geranium, whatever you prefer. So we have the gift set, the boot shapers. We have a baby collection. So one of the things, I have 2 kids, and I didn't keep very much from my older one. So when I was pregnant with the younger son, I realized that one of the things I had kept were his first shoes that I was able to pass on to my little one. So I have a cute little baby collection with shoe bags, my first shoes, and little shoe hearts for their little baby shoes, because we keep that. So we've expanded. We're adding a men's line, and also looking into some new product categories as well.
Is it a gift? Is this a gift product?
It's very much a gift product. Great question, because I really believe in the whole experience and the packaging. And so every pair, every shoe bag, everything comes in a custom gift box. So it's such a great gift. It's for anything. Great hostess gift, great bridal shower gift. It's for that person who has everything.
Yeah.
It's really like a go-to.
What is your favorite email you've gotten?
Oh my God, I have so many. I am just like, we have amazing reviews. I also write personal notes.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's really nice sometimes to get an email and say, thank you so much. I got your package. I love it. And thank you for taking the time to write a note, because my customers are everything. But yeah.
Well, they're definitely the money.
Yeah. Right.
No customers make
Well,
I
said that, like, exactly.
Food is good.
I said that, but quick story, I guess. I had a customer and she emailed me and she said, hey, just wanted to let you know that I, along with 2 other military wives, we go away together every year and we each bring a gift of something that we love. And I love your product, so I'm gifting it to my friends. And so, knowing that they were military wives and, they give so much to our country, I added a little extra to the package. And, they wrote me a really nice handwritten note. And that really touched me a lot. So,
Really?
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's fun that we create things that go into the world and we don't realize how they impact people.
Yeah.
And then suddenly, so one of the guys out there, his mother, he was a student of mine in college, and his mother sent me a whole note, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. That you never teach to think you're gonna get a note from a mother in college, and then all of a sudden it comes in, and it's like, oh, I'm what I do, it means more to people than because. It never means the same to other people, right? Nobody cares about protect your shit.
Yeah.
Like you.
Yeah.
Nobody cares about it like you.
Yeah.
It is part of you.
I always say protect my shoes as my daughter.
Your
the daughter I've never had.
Yeah, your third.
It's my third child, the daughter I haven't had that I will not have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it's true.
So all of that is a massive thing, and yet there's so much more to Olivia.
Mm-hmm. There is.
How do you introduce yourself to people?
Well, as a mom, as an entrepreneur, as a passionate volunteer.
But if we met in a more informal setting,
just Olivia. I'm truly not someone who goes around and oh, I do this and I do that. It would be just, hey, I'm Olivia. Unless you ask me, hey, what do you do? I really believe in just.
So what is your job? How do you make a living?
Well, I make a living through my company, Protect My Shoes. That's really how I make a living.
But how do you categorize that? Is it you're the entrepreneur, you're the CEO?
Yeah.
You use the creative director term.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Which, by the way, I just gave myself. That's the thing. I could give myself the CEO or president. I mean, listen, it's it's whatever. I'm giving it to myself. So I'm basically the person who wears all the hats and makes things happen.
Oftentimes, when you say this is what I do, that's really a picture of how you view your world.
Yeah.
And so I find it a fascinating way because we all do, anyone that's on this show does 7,000 things.
Yeah.
So it's who are you? That's always one of the questions that really we try to get to throughout the hour.
It's like a therapy session.
Let's
figure this out.
Women say that, men do not. Men just dive into it. Women always say that in the show. This is like therapy. Oh, I hadn't thought about that. And I think because we're honestly, I think we're always go, go, go. But I will say though that I really try, we know that being an entrepreneur can be a roller coaster ride. Yeah. No, it's super fun till it's really miserable.
Yeah. Or it's super miserable until it's super fun, So, and we know that. And I think, throughout the years, I've really gained some perspective. Maybe it's because I'm getting older, but, at the end of the day, none of this really matters. And I say this in the sense that, you think about, not to get morbid, but, when you go to a memorial, nobody's saying, hey, she worked really hard. People, what they remember is how you made them feel. She was kind, she was helpful. She really, when I asked her to show up, she showed up for me. That's what people remember. And that's what I hope that, people will, that's the impact I hope to have is that, I'm a good person and people feel it,
So we're in Boca Raton.
Yes.
Why this community?
I moved here when I was young. So I was 9 years old, moved here with my mom. And I did leave for 10 years. I lived in China for 10 years in my 20s and then came back a few years ago. So it's my mom's here, family's here. So this is why Boca.
But to give back to it, is it to be a part? Would it be the same in any community, or is there something special about
this
here?
This community is beyond philanthropic. I don't know how much you know about the philanthropic scene here, David, but I mean, there are nonprofits left and right. There are events all the time. And people really do give. I do think people really care. I try and explain this when I go to Europe or elsewhere, and nobody can really wrap their head around it. It's incredibly philanthropic. I do it because I was raised to give back. My mom started a foundation when we lived in Bangkok. As a young kid, I was, living there. And to this day, it's still going strong. So it's like in my DNA, giving back is like, you give back and you don't give back expecting anything in return, but it is a feel good. I think that if everybody can if we can all help each other, then we would be in so much of a better place. So for me, it's in my DNA. I love it. I'm the immediate past board president of the Boca Raton Historical Society. History, I think it's important.
There's history here?
There is history. 100 years.
I thought it was like 20 years old.
No, actually, we're celebrating the centennial this year in Boca right now. So, yes.
Really?
I know, believe it or not. But I think it's important for our kids.
Did Flagler invent Boca?
No, he did not. But we had some amazing pioneers who came here. And then Addison Meisner in 1925 came and built the Boca Raton and, the Addison and these great places. So anyway, there's a great history.
So now we have an ad for Boca.
Now we do.
Visit Boca.
Visit
right?
Boca Centennial, 100 years. Yeah.
What's your favorite restaurant in Boca?
Ooh, good question. I mean, with kids and all that, we don't go out that much these days. How
old are your kids?
4 and 10.
4 and 10.
So we're
four can cause trouble in a restaurant.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the place we really go with him is Las Fajitas, which is a hole-in-the-wall Mexican. Have you been?
No, but that's a common theme.
It is, but it's down the street from here. It's not that far. The margaritas are legit. The food is really good.
Las Fajitas.
And it's like very cash.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So if your son starts running around, you're okay.
I don't feel so stressed. They know him. They know him by now. They're here he is.
Does it make you feel stressed as a mom when you're in public?
100%. Yeah. No, for sure. Because I'm very cognizant of other people, so I don't want to bother others. If my son.
But don't you kind of think like, hey, they're kids?
Like,
hey, like kids are kids. Like, isn't that like? I kind of get. So I get it both ways. I understand like you don't want to bother people, and people don't want to be bothered. Your kids should behave at some level, but at some level, people should be like, that's a kid.
Especially boys. Oh my gosh.
Well, you just don't have girls. So
I
yeah,
don't.
if you had a girl, you know they're trouble too.
My girls are all my shoe stuffers, and they don't talk back, and they look very pretty on the shelf and the shoes.
But I mean, I think,
No, I think, I'm like that. Like kids never bother me, but I'm also a parent. But unfortunately, some people are not very understanding,
Yeah, but who cares? Aren't they just like annoying people?
They are, but maybe I need to not care as much.
Yeah, you can just be like, hey, fuck off. Like on the plane, like you're complaining about the baby.
That's the worst.
And it's like, you know what? Babies cry.
I know. We've experienced that.
But it's like you got to travel.
You do.
I don't know. It just seems like it's like, I don't have any kids, so that's one thing. Like, you don't have kids, you made these choices, like that's fine. You want to be annoyed, that's fine, but shut the fuck up.
Yeah, but it doesn't bother you then.
It doesn't bother me, but because well, think about like for me, it's like how stressful is it for that person? Like, why would I add to why would me, who has to listen to this for like 7 minutes or, you know what I mean? Like, why am I adding stress to that person's life?
Yeah, no, I know. It is stressful. Yeah. It is. As a parent, it can be very stressful.
Yeah. And it's like, but the kids need to be able to play.
Yeah.
They need to be kids.
Exactly.
Like part of the big problem with today, like the young adults is they weren't kids.
Yeah.
They were told what to do all the time. And
we're really lucky because we get to spend 2 months in Italy in the summer, and truly the kids get to be kids there. They can just run free, and they leave in the morning and they come back at night, and they're having lunch at someone's nonna's house, and we never worry. Everybody watches, and that's what I really love. And they're all they're both asking, when are we going back to Italy? They're excited because again, they can be kids there.
Yeah.
Which here
it's a little different.
Yes.
Well, especially in the retiree season.
Yeah. Yeah, but Boca's changed a lot too. There's so many families. I mean, it's insane. I know it's true.
Sure.
David, it's
Your
true.
family's here.
My family and a lot of other families, especially during COVID, a lot of people moved down here.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Our schools are overpopulated. We could go on and on and on.
Yeah. So you guys should charge taxes. That's all.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And you can have more schools and pay school teachers. It would be interesting.
I know.
And
they don't get enough.
Yeah.
They don't.
Can you imagine like you have these people that take care of all of our children collectively, and we're like, yeah, we're not even going to pay you like a living wage.
I know. Teachers are definitely underpaid here.
As a mom entrepreneur, like that's a whole nother ballpark.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure at different points in time, you talk to other young women that are trying to start companies and what's your message to them?
My message to them is to go for it. In the sense that I think a lot of people have good ideas, but they overthink, and then they want their product or their service to be perfect.
Oh my God.
And it's never going to be perfect. You're always improving. I'm always constantly improving.
I tell them if you're happy with it, it should have been out 3 months ago.
I mean, to be honest with you, when I look back at my first collection and my first website and everything, I'm like, oh my gosh, it was.
And you cringe in every social. Like you look back on social 2 months ago and you're like, what was I thinking?
Totally.
If you're not doing that, you're not improving.
Totally cringe. Yes, exactly. And so you're always constantly improving. So I feel like, a lot of people just have these great ideas and they never really go for it because they're waiting for perfection, and perfection doesn't exist.
And so how do we apply that to other moms that are sitting here thinking like, I want to do this thing, but I'm afraid, or I don't have the time. And I think about your schedule just on your list of activities. And it's like, well, you don't have the time either.
Yeah.
So it's like, are you encouraging or, cause like, I'll tell you where this comes from. I think, if I were getting an operator of a business, I would find a mom.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Well, they say.
How can they find?
Well, they say, right? If you want something done, give it to
a busy person.
Yes, exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah. You know what? I think that the work is always going to be there. So I'm like a firm believer that you can be incredibly effective and efficient in 2-3 hours. Like you don't need to sit at your desk from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. because nobody is productive from 8 to 5 nonstop. I mean, maybe you, David, but I'm not, especially now with all the noise and the social media and all the distractions. And, one time I was like, I got home and my husband's like, how was your day? And I'm like, it was fine, but I didn't get everything I wanted done. And he goes, the work is still going to be there tomorrow. And then it'll be there again the day after. There's always work. So and I thought that was like actually really good perspective. There's always going to be work.
That's
so,
right.
I just think.
So what does your husband do for a living?
Well, he's a retired chiropractor. He sold his practice. Then he had an MRI center and sold that as well. And so, now he's consulting on some MRI centers.
So I have a sacroiliac joint thing. No?
You can talk to him. I cannot help you.
Can you hook me up? Like, it's one of those things where.
I'll give you his number.
Yeah. I like the electric shocks thing.
You like the
shock the hell out of me. Like just turn it all the way up and just let it go.
Yeah, I'll give you his number. He's really, really great, and he's awesome and very supportive, I have to say.
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be impossible to do without support.
I think it's very hard. Yeah, it is.
What do you want people to see, or what do you want people to say about you? Like. I think you started to touch on it, that you showed up, right? Like those things are, the things you were hitting on are very meaningful to me as well. Like, I don't want to be known as like the person that fell into it, right? Mm-hmm. Like, or wasn't there for their friends or family or stuff. And so like you have like, and I guess I'm harping on this, but you have this wide array of things. Clearly you show up. Like, is there like a mental illness under it driving it? Or is it like, I really just want to be a part of something?
Yeah, I think I do. Like I when I commit to something or when I say I will be there, I'll be there. Like I really, I really give it my all. It's either I'm going to do it or I'm not going to do it. Like we tell, our older son who plays hockey when he's out there, make a difference. Don't just go on the ice and just like, go on a Sunday skate.
Dilly-dally.
Dilly-dally. Make it. Sometimes he does that. It's like, make a difference, And listen, he's only 10, but, that is always such a good reminder for me. If I'm going to be involved in the nonprofit or if I'm going to write for the magazine or I'm going to start a business, I'm going to show up and give it my all and really try and go beyond that. And I think in terms of like what I want people to think of me, that I am genuine. I think that that's really important.
So I while you were walking through that, I had a better way to ask the question. What are your core values? And so you have this genuineness. Mm-hmm. Like one word, core values. What do you think they would be? Like 3 or 4 of them.
Kindness.
Good taste.
Yeah, good taste, but that's not really, that's superficial.
Is it? Is it really?
You don't think so? Like good
taste? No, I don't think so. I think there's a sense of design that's either like an appreciation for beautiful things. Like, no, I don't think it's superficial. Okay. I think like, I guess the person could use it for superficiality. The person that wears Gucci and carries an Hermès bag and a Rolex watch and doesn't know what they're even carrying. Yeah, that's entirely superficial. But to love the stitching on a Chanel purse or to love the precision and the engineering that goes behind, a Bulgari watch and that, no, I don't think that's superficial.
Yeah. Okay. I like that. Yeah. Cause that's, you summed my appreciation for those things, it's those details, attention to detail. And I say it in our story section of the website, that attention to detail is really important to me. My father was an hotelier. And
what is that?
You know what an hotelier is.
I know what it is, but there's people listening that are like, what is this?
Well, he was in the hotel world and general manager and vice president and ran many hotels from Austria. So they're the best hoteliers.
Yeah. Oh,
so
well, the Swiss, the Swiss are very. They'd fight with you on that. I've been to Lausanne. I know the.
It's so true. A lot of my friends in the hotel world did come out of Lausanne in Switzerland. But yeah, so I grew up in hotels, and my father, attention to detail, right? Like and then my mom's an interior designer. She's still working to this day, and so so I grew up with those details. I really think it makes a difference. And that's why packaging too for me is super important.
So again, I'll go back to my point before, like look at interior design.
Yeah.
Think about the impact that design has on people's lives.
100%.
Okay, it looks nice, but how does it make people feel? What kind of behaviors does it bring into your space, right? Yeah. Like you design a nightclub in Miami, that's entirely different than, a beautiful room in Aspen.
Right. Yeah. And even like one's home, right? When your home is like put together and you're organized and you have your little shoe stuffers in your closet and all that, it really makes you happier. I think, a clean home is a happy home. I think that goes really, like, I really believe in that. I think, when your environment is cohesive and, there's the feng shui elements and everything just vibes, you are definitely, I feel like, more grounded.
For sure.
Yeah.
Like, and you can wake up and do things. Like, there's something, like, I have a sense from talking to you now for almost an entire show. Like I have a sense when you wake up in the morning, you're happy.
Always. Absolutely.
Right. But do you know that's rare? Do you understand that that's a rare thing?
I think it's something listen, not to say I don't have bad days, because that sure does happen. Nobody's perfect, but no, I didn't know. I mean, yeah, I'm happy, and
bad days are different than waking up and being happy.
Right. That's true. And listen, when I do have a bad day or if I'm a little off, I don't like try and I try and sit with that feeling and ask myself, why are you feeling off? And it's usually business related, by the way, to be honest with you. when you feel like, I'm getting no's and I'm, it can be a downer,
So I have two people that work with me a lot, and when they're like, "You're in a mood," I'm like, "Okay, I'm in a mood.
They know
I need to think."
And it's okay. And I think that that's the thing. And I think that's why mental health is, I love that people are talking about it now, because it's okay to have a bit of an off day. We're all normal. But I do wake up every day. And this is one of my dear friends who taught me this. And I love it. It's, if someone asks you, how are you? I'm great and grateful. And I learned that from her. She's like a big sister to me. Gloria, shout out to you. And that really resonated with me.
Shout out, Gloria.
Yeah.
So I think about that because oftentimes someone will ask me how I'm doing, and I'll occasionally default into a stupid answer, which is
like what?
I'm tired.
Uh-huh.
And I am. And usually when I say that, it's because I am.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that shouldn't ever be my answer.
Mm-hmm. Because you're bringing them down too.
Yeah, it's self-fulfilling also, right? Like it's like, yeah. And I've been trying to think, you're talking about attention to details. I've been trying to think of my life in that level and in that sort of schematic of like, well, how I answer questions actually matters.
Yeah.
And I'm intentionally vague to a lot of people, like, and try to be a mystery. Like people, like a lot of people are afraid of me.
Okay.
Like it's weird, but
I'm not that afraid of you.
No,
not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Yeah, you don't work with me, so that helps. But I mean, I think like they're wrong why they're afraid, almost always.
Mm-hmm.
But I've started to think about those tiny signals that you send and like answers to questions.
Yeah.
They matter and they build on each other throughout the day.
Right.
And so I've sort of been obsessed with recapturing my morning.
Okay. I like that.
So, because I wake up happy.
Good.
Right. So if I wake up happy, how do I capture the morning so nobody can fuck that up in the first 2 or 3 hours? Because if I can build 2 or 3 hours of momentum,
you're good.
Then I can go till I feel tired and stop or recharge.
Yeah.
Or whatever I need to do that next component. So yeah, no. Well, I appreciate you coming. I want to thank you for taking the time. I think we're up against the clock here, but do you have a question?
Oh.
I usually answer it completely honestly and totally transparently when people ask me questions. And like, it's so funny to see some people that you don't know me before an hour ago, but like a lot of people have known me for many years. They come on the show and a lot of them have a question that they've been waiting to ask about me. But
well, listen,
there's a lot of questions in the world that I'd love to answer.
Well, I mean, I always ask this because we feature women on our website that are doing great things. And one of my questions is always very simple. What's your favorite life motto, quote? Like, what do you live by?
What do I live by? That's an interesting. I've never been asked that. And I've been asked a lot of questions in my life.
Well, then success. So, I'm good. I can go.
Yeah. You won. You won a big one. What do I live by? I think the best way that I can phrase it up is that excellence isn't an accident. And once you decide to be here, you might as well be excellent.
Right.
Because everything else is just like, why?
Make a difference.
Yeah, no, that make a difference component resonates, make impact.
Yeah.
I think of myself more as a leverage agent, an agent of leverage so helping other people create outsized impact is where I see my place in the world. But yeah, that's it.
Love it.
So thank you so much, Olivia, for coming. And I look forward to listening to this.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. Thank you, David.
Because normally I don't.